Are you sitting comfortably?
Good afternoon. Not good morning. It's good afternoon.
That's a good start, isn't it? We're doing well already.
Welcome to Are You Sitting Comfortably on East London Radio. Oh, it's a movie review show where we talk...
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Crap.
Where we talk about all the latest releases and play some exciting music from the cinema, such as that, which is from...
Tron.
From Tron. By the way, I'm Rue, and you're...
Scott.
That's good.
Hello.
Yeah, there we are. Yes, Tron, computers we're talking about today.
Yes, I get you. I wondered for a moment, but then I kind of thought about it and it made sense. Jeff Bridges doing his Jeff Bridges thing.
Well, certainly not recommending that you watch Tron.
Tron's all right. The first one's pretty good.
Oh, well, I haven't seen that.
Back in the 80s.
Isn't that just like... Doesn't that hurt your eyes
a
after
little
a
bit?
while?
Yeah, it's really, really bad special
Like
effects.
when you used to play on the Sega Mega Drive for too long. Yeah.
Everything starts bleeding. Yeah.
But the new one was far too dark. It was like everybody in a pitch black room wearing that stuff you have to wear when you're riding a bike.
High vis.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
And was it Daft Punk that were in there? Or...
Yeah, Daft Punk doing the soundtrack. And that really, again, as is often the case when I go to the cinema, for me, the soundtrack was the best part of the movie.
Well, there we go.
There's some amazing stuff. Genuinely, you have to listen to that soundtrack in full. It's a whirlwind adventure.
My favorite
In a
bit
computer.
Inside of a computer. Wow. My favorite bit of Tron, the new one, was
Is that what it was called?
Tron, the new one. Yeah,
They should just be that upfront about it, shouldn't
Yeah.
they? Tron, the new one.
Yes.
Re-release the old one as the old one on DVD.
That'd be it, yeah. It gets remastered. Tron, the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. There was Jeff Bridges fighting a digital clone of himself. So it was Jeff Bridges fighting Jeff Bridges on a bridge. And it's like, that's a lot of bridges in one place. It was fun.
I don't remember that. I remember there being some sort of huge bridge, some sort of boat.
Yeah, I don't know either. Don't know.
Because what I didn't understand about Computerland was that everything was it was kind of real life, but with the neon. Like there were cars and bikes and people wore clothes. Wouldn't it just be this completely bizarre... what's the phrase I'm looking for? Uncomputable, incomputable, incompatible, unbelievable, bizarre place that we would have no way of actually grasping. If you got inside a computer, you wouldn't. It would be all ones and zeros and strange
it's not
wiggly
much of a
lines.
movie, though, is it?
No,
I think that's what they're doing there.
I don't think a computer would look like that.
No.
It's a nice idea. Do you think that's what the inside of an Apple Mac would look like?
All shiny and clean. It would all be white.
It would all be like chrome, wouldn't it? Yeah, shiny. We've seen Steve Jobs, not since
personally.
He was
dead.
No, we've seen the job. I mean, the film.
What?
We've seen him doing his job in the film.
Right. Yes. Well, we saw Fassy B doing his job in the film.
That's true. Yes. And
Michael
we'll be
Fassbender.
talking about that in heaps of detail later on.
Yes.
But have you got any good digital bargains in the Black Friday madness that was yesterday?
No, annoyingly, I was at work and I was really looking forward to having a good look through the bargain bin of the internet to see if there's anything I wanted
Yes.
to buy. And work kept giving me stuff to do. It was really frustrating. So I just wanted to sit down and go through everything, and they kept making me work. It was very annoying.
Some of us haven't the time to sit down at work and faff about on Amazon.
Well, I hadn't either yesterday. It was quite annoying. I wanted to. Maybe I will. Cyber Monday on Monday.
But don't you think that
Which is a bit silly.
with movies and things, you don't need a Cyber Monday, you don't need a Black Friday, because all you need to do really is pop into Computer Exchange and pick up the latest James Bond bar Spectre for like 75p.
That's true.
They're just bashing them out now, aren't they?
Yeah, or Netflix, or
exactly,
Amazon Prime, or one.
I mean, unless you want a massive telly, which you often see people wrestling with on a Black Friday,
or punching each other in the face for. That's always terrifying.
Is it worth it?
No. Well,
We've already got a bazillion screens in our lives. These people who are fighting over big tellies probably already have one on top of their fridge in the kitchen. They've got their iPhone. They've got their laptop. It's like, how many do we? What's your favourite device to watch a movie on?
Mine? I like watching them on the big telly in the living room, but then I like to just flop about on the sofa. However, usually when I'm flopping about on the sofa, I'll have my phone in my hand or my laptop on my knee as well.
Yes, you're a dual screener.
I am. Are you not, love? Do you focus? Are you all one?
No. Well, ideally, yes, I'm a focuser. what annoys me is when I realise I've been scrolling through Facebook or replying to texts for about 10 minutes while I'm meant to be watching something like Breaking Bad or Peep Show last night.
Well,
yes, Peep Show's back on the telly, everybody.
is it good?
Oh, it's so very good. It's really good.
Yeah?
And it's the last one, so make the most of it.
Oh, sad face.
Last season, I mean.
Oh, I see.
But anyway, that's not movies.
No.
But still, TV has
Yes.
a place. So, yes, no, Black Friday.
What? So you didn't get to have a look through buying anything? No?
I didn't know. I wanted a Kindle Voyage, but that's books, so it doesn't really count.
But it's not an actual book, is it? It's an ebook thing.
It's an ebook, apparently one of the best.
Well, why didn't you get one?
Well, because they're still millions of pounds.
Oh.
They've not been reduced in the Black Friday sales. What?
Amazon, the Kindle Fire was down. You could have had one of them.
No.
Oh.
They're just they're a poor man's iPad. I'm sorry, which is very. I mean, it's true because what we saw in the Steve Jobs movie is all about making technology easy to use.
Yes.
Just sort of. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea.
It just melds very well with your human brain and your human part. I suppose that is just simple to use, isn't it? I'm just complicating the idea. But no, a Kindle,
like you,
a Kindle Fire is sort of just a PC wrapped in an iPad. Like it gets a bit glitchy. It's like it's faking it. I don't believe that it's really as smooth and as chilled as it wants to be. Whereas an iPad, it does all the things, does all the swooshy things.
You're listening to Are You Sitting Comfortably, a tech review show.
Well, quite. But no, I mean, it's in keeping with the movie we're reviewing.
Yes, I know.
Technology being simple. I mean, what would you rather have comfortably slipped inside your stocking this Christmas? Would you rather have a Kindle Fire or an Apple iPad? I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Well, going on resale value alone, I go for the iPad just so I could make more money off it.
We're talking about you and using it in your dual screeny way.
I don't need one. I have my phone, I have my laptop. I don't need a screen in between
Nobody needs
the two.
a TV. Nobody needs to watch these movies we bang on about every week. But it's about what you want.
Don't tell them that. They do. They need to listen.
What do you want? This is getting deep now, isn't it?
What I want is more kind of that one from One Direction, what we were talking about. I'd quite like him.
Well, we won't talk about that on air.
Dancing around in hot pants covered in baby oil. That'd be lovely.
So, which member of One Direction do you want inside your?
It really doesn't matter.
Stocking, I was going to say. I stopped pretty swiftly. My
pretty
vote's with Zayn Malik.
Right. He doesn't count, really, does he? He's not a member of One Direction anymore.
Well,
No.
I'm not. No.
But they're all interchangeable. It doesn't matter. You know, I could.
No, they're not. Zayn Malik isn't. That's why he's left. But we're going to play a little bit of music to steer the show in the right direction. What am I going to play, though?
I don't know. What are you going to play?
I'm going to have a look here.
All right.
Oh, yes. Okay, so shall we play some music from Steve Jobs before we talk about a little bit more...
By which you mean music from the film, not music that he wrote before he died, presumably.
No. Well, actually, it's not from the movie. It's by Bob Dylan. The Times... they are a changin'. I'll tell you why. At the real 1984 unveiling of the Macintosh, Steve Jobs began by quoting from the second verse of Dylan's The Times, They Are a Changin'. He said, "Come, writers and critics who prophesize with your pen and keep your eyes wide. The chance won't come again, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a changing."
Did he deliver it with the same level of panache as he did? Is that why the first Macintosh failed?
I think I had more panache.
Oh.
No, I definitely didn't. Let's hand it over to Bob Dylan. Yes, so exciting movie news. But before we get to that, how about we play a little game called Who Said That Then?
Hello.
Who said?
Hello.
Who said?
Hello.
Any ideas?
Hello.
Yes.
You have ideas?
Yes.
They might be the wrong ideas.
Oh,
Hello.
I think so.
Yes. If you know the answer, do tweet us at ELR Comfortably on Twitter and use the Facebook page .com/ELR Comfortably. Also, we've got a very sexual website. No, actually, no, it's not a sexual website. No, what I mean is it's very pleasing to look at.
Yes.
It's an exciting new website, elrcomfortably.co.uk,
That's it.
where you can find every single different way of listening to our show, which includes Mixcloud, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and
something else, probably.
something. Well, you can actually just go to the website, listen to the latest there, smack bang on the homepage.
Exactly.
Oh,
And there's a link to the ELR crowdfunding page.
Crowdfunding, yes.
Yeah,
because
give us a bit of money.
What was that?
I said give us a couple of quid, and then I didn't. I went horribly wrong.
they need some cash.
They do need some cash
For the chat in order to keep this wonderful little station going.
Yeah, to keep us here, keep us chatting away, entertaining you every week.
So that we can go on saying
Hello.
every Saturday afternoon at 12 p.m.
Hello.
So, we've got some movie news. Jennifer Lawrence is going to be directing a movie rather than being in one.
It's very exciting.
Project Delirium is its
Yeah.
name. Now, how do you feel about actors getting behind the camera?
Well, when I don't, that's all right. I think it can be really good. Although the one that jumps into my head straight away is Star Trek V, which was directed by either Leonard Nimoy or
I had no idea there was a
William
Star
Shatner.
Trek 5.
There's just loads of them. What?
No, I mean, it's always worrying, isn't it, when they get that many?
Well,
It's almost as though they're not really even worried about it anymore.
no. What?
I'm sounding really strange because I'm still trying to digest the cheesy bun I had earlier.
That's very strange. But no, and they did a horrible job of it. Every odd-numbered Star Trek movie is awful, and 5 was the worst by a very long way.
It's a bit like James Bond then. Casino Royale good, Quantum of Solace bad, Skyfall good, Spectre bad.
Yeah, all right.
So now we're due for a big good one.
A good big one.
Yes, exactly.
Really good. What about you? Go on then. Give us. I'm sure you've an opinion.
I do have an opinion.
Oh,
I was
excellent.
going to say, obviously we're this is television, but with Fast.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's such a good show anyway. You would anticipate it going a little pear-shaped when you got its main character, John Crichton, played by Ben Browder, to script and direct an episode. But everything that he did an episode called The Green-Eyed Monster in season 3, and an episode called, I can't remember, but it was in season 4. And they were all very good and pretty wacky. He did it because he knew his character inside out. He was able to, I think, write it better than a lot of just randoms who didn't really care about John Crichton could.
I wonder whether, like, as the director, he's got to be like, and then I'm going to say this, and I'm going to have all the best lines, and you lot can all just.
No, well, that is the sign of a good actor, director, writer who doesn't just pile it all on himself. Who's that guy from Meet the Parents?
Which one?
The man. The older
Ben
man.
Stiller? Oh,
No, Meet the Fockers.
Meet the fuckers. Oh no, can't remember.
We're miming.
Al Pacino?
No. Well,
No.
he does a lot of directing and stuff, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, Robert De Niro. That's it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Meet the Fockers.
Same to you.
Robert De Niro is in it. And does Robert De Niro act and direct as well?
I
didn't know that.
don't know.
But I'm thinking of, I'm going to have it here any minute now, Dustin Hoffman,
Right.
who directs movies.
Right.
What was the latest he directed here?
I don't know.
Let me see.
You'd think we'd have planned this. We could have done all this research before the show, or even during the song while Bob Dylan was playing.
Quartet. Of course, Quartet.
Oh.
I loved Quartet. Quartet was great. Quartet.
All right,
You have
yes,
to-
I heard you.
You have to watch Quartet
All right, I will.
by Dustin Hoffman.
I wanted to.
With Billy Connolly.
I didn't get round to it, but I wanted to.
Oh, it's very good.
It was the retired opera singers thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it's a wonderful little
Is it
movie.
Dame Judy?
No, she's not in it. No.
Is it Maggie Smith?
Yeah, Maggie Smith. Yeah.
I always get those two.
Everyone's very good in it.
Very
Very
similar.
good indeed.
Mm.
In other movie news, Ben Affleck says that Batman vs Superman is going to open DC up to a massive extended universe. Did anybody ask for that to happen?
I don't know which is worse. Ben Affleck. No, it's Ben Affleck. All right, yeah, fine.
What?
Just Ben Affleck in general. He's awful.
Well, is he?
Yeah,
though?
it just.
He didn't offend me too much in Argo. Argo was another very good
Well,
movie.
he had a beard. That was.
What, is he better with a beard?
Well, I don't know. Well, everything's better with a beard.
Well, Batman doesn't have a beard then, so we should worry.
Well, quite possibly, yes. It'd be weird if Batman did have a beard, just like the mask and then this big.
Poking out of his little mouth hole.
Yeah, very, very strange.
Well, no, but I mean, who's going to be involved in this extended universe? Aquaman.
the Green Lantern, Wonder Woman. Who
There's
else
nobody
is
else,
DC?
is there, really?
There's Captain Marvel is Marvel, obviously.
Don't DC have the issue where all of their villains are more entertaining than their heroes?
Yeah, but then all of them do. That's...
No. Marvel, Captain America seems so far more interesting than all of his villains. Same with all the others. In fact, they're known for having rubbish villains, aren't they? It's the opposite
I suppose
problem.
So. Only in the cinematic universe, in the comics, the villains are quite good.
Oh, really?
There's a trailer out. There's a first trailer is out for Civil War.
Oh goodness, yes.
Yes.
Oh, how could we have forgotten that? That's amazing.
And a quick shout out to my drag queen friend, Sybil War. Just because every time we talk about this movie, I think of her. Anyway,
what struck me about the Civil War trailer is that it was very dusty, sort of kicking people. It wasn't superheroes. It was sort of just let's punch.
Well, it's meant to be. Well, the Civil War is supposed to be like the half of the supers all take sides, so it becomes a rift, a schism, if you will. A schism?
A schism.
I like that word.
It sounds like something you'd have to go to the doctor about.
Well, yeah. Oh, you've always got a schism.
Just pop your trousers on the stool there. I'll have a look at your schism.
Oh, dear me. I feel uncomfortable.
So there's a schism?
Yes, between...
Captain America's got a schism.
It's, in the comics at least, and I imagine it's along the same lines, the government requires all gifted, or mutants as they're known...
because they're also with X-Men in the comics, aren't they?
Yeah. To register and be put on a list, essentially, as being...
The same way Donald Trump wants to do with Muslims.
And all brown people. Yeah. But...
always frowned upon.
Yeah, just generally a bad idea. And Captain America decides that this is a bad idea, and Tony Stark is on the other team, and they kind of fight a bit.
That's what confused me a little bit, actually, because I would have thought Tony Stark would be against the idea, seeing as he's such a sort of a... I was going to say free spirit, but I'm not sure if that's
I think there's more to it than what I've just told you, but that's the basics of the Civil War plotline.
And of course, there's still Spider-Man to come.
Yeah, I really don't know how they're going to do that.
Well, I know how they're going to do it. There's going to be some big sort of fight in the crescendo of the movie, and just as we think all is lost, Spider-Man's going to pop up and save the day, and then we'll have a Spider-Man origin movie. Or at least not Uncle Ben getting killed for the third time. It'll be something else. It'll be how Spider-Man started being Spider-Man.
That is how Spider-Man...
No. But after he has become Spider-Man,
right.
I think they can't do that again, surely.
Well, Uncle Ben has died 3 times, bless him.
4. No, sorry, twice.
Good Lord.
Twice in the movies.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know how he has time to make all that rice if he's being killed in the movies.
I don't know whose idea it was to do that again. We didn't need it.
Well, no. It was infight. Well, not infighting. It was revenge, apparently. The studio hated... the guy that fell out with the guy that made the first series. What
was his name?
I can't remember.
Oh, for goodness
Didn't watch
sake.
them.
We're not very good at this today, are we?
No, we're
Coming
not
up
having
with
the best
names
day. But yeah, they fell out with him and wanted to reboot the series basically just to stick a finger up at him. And that's why we got the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it wasn't, was it?
No, it was the mediocre at best Spider-Man.
I'm just trying to find out the name of the director for Spider-Man. Sam
Mendes.
Raimi. Mendes.
That'd be a much better movie. Sam Mendes as Spider-Man.
Well, it depends if you're going by Spectre or Skyfall.
Well, that's true.
But no, Spider-Man 2 is considered the absolute best Spider-Man can be on screen.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. And then you end up with Spider-Man 3 where he's just slicking his hair back and doing ridiculous dances. Because he's turned evil.
Oh, like you do when you're evil.
Yeah.
Which one was the one where Macey Grey gets blown up?
Macey Grey?
Yeah. I think that might be the first one. I think that's the first Spider-Man.
No, you're thinking of someone else.
Thinking of Spider-Man.
You're thinking of Mary Jane.
No,
not Macey Grey.
I'm thinking of Macey Grey.
What? I'm trying.
I just say goodbye and I choke. I try to walk away and they crumble.
What's my lyric? I'm trying. Is that from not...
I don't know.
I don't know.
Very trying.
I've started to sound a little like Macey Grey lately, actually.
No, you haven't.
No, I have, because I'm getting...
to Victor Meldrew than Macey Grey.
I don't believe it. I need a soothers. I'm really getting Macey.
A what? I don't... what?
I'm
I honestly don't know what
getting a bit Macey.
Oh, I see.
Just pop your Trousers on the stool there, Will.
We'll
They
give
don't
you-
do that when I go in there with the saw.
we'll give you a
Macy
soother.
Grey throat.
Dear.
Where were we? What was...
I have no idea.
Well, all I'm going to say now is
Yes.
at the end of our, I was going to say Macy Grey segment, movie news segment, is please stop making Star Wars trailers. Like, there's enough
Okay,
now.
I won't make any more.
There's enough footage flying around. We don't want to have watched the whole movie before. I remember they were doing this a little bit with Prometheus as well before it came out.
But that was a really bad movie, so it was okay.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's just you see a bit too much. As I said before, you're going to become familiar with the footage. You're going to be sat in the cinema. You're going to be thinking, right, so these characters are in a perilous situation, but I know that I still haven't seen that clip that I saw in the trailer, so I know they're going to be fine. Oh, well. It ruins the whole thing. Are you yawning at me?
Yeah, a little bit.
All
Sorry.
right, let's play a little bit of music from the Steve Jobs movie. This is called Jack It Up by Daniel Pemberton, who, interestingly enough, also composed the music to Dirk Gently on the BBC TV series and Man from U.N.C.L.E. Yes.
That was interesting, yes. Thank you for
Interesting.
sharing.
Ooh, it sounded like a video game, didn't it? I think Daniel Pemberton did a good job. At one point, it sounded like when you try and close something that a Windows PC doesn't want to close, and you keep pressing the X button, it goes bonk, 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 bonk.
If you say so.
You don't
There's
get that.
probably something wrong with your laptop. You need to go
No, but you see, I have an Apple.
Oh, do you?
An
Of course
Apple
you do.
Mac.
Of course you do.
Well, naturally.
Of course.
If you want a first-class computing experience, you go for the Apple Mac, don't you? Now, I never used to be such a computer snob.
I'm
I mean,
shaking
you
my
are.
head at you.
You're a PCer, aren't you?
I do.
So you get a
I
lot
own
of the
a
bonk,
PC,
bonk,
yeah.
bonk, bonk,
No, I don't.
bonk, bonk,
No,
not
because it works
responding.
properly. It
Not
works
responding. Not responding. Oh, I need a defrag. I think it's probably about time for a defrag while I'm zooming away on my Mac.
You do love
Someone-
saying defrag, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's a whole other discussion about the difference between a reboot and a defrag of a classic film franchise.
Please let's not do it again.
I can't remember what episode that was, but you'll just have to go back and listen to every single one of our previous episodes.
It's the
via-
Spectre episode.
Spectre, of course. Go and listen to the Spectre episode, elrcomfortably.co.uk. We're asking the question today. Who said this?
Hello.
Who said?
Hello.
Any ideas?
Yes.
Hello.
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 If you know the answer, tweet us at ELR Comfortably on Twitter and use the Facebook page, facebook.com/ELR Comfortably. Lovely.
Yes.
So let's talk about the movie, shall we?
Oh, right then.
Yeah,
If we must.
if we
If we must.
Steve Jobs.
Yes.
Did you feel that Michael Fassbender...
Good old Fassy B.
I know, what a strange name. He should get with Benedict Cumberbatch, shouldn't he?
God.
Be an exciting line up there on the poster. It'd be like people who just chucked Scrabble letters at the side of a bus.
I like, but just as a little tangent, I like with Benedict Cumberbatch's name, you can put any kind of similarly syllabled group of words, and everyone knows who you're talking about. It's like beanbag cucumber patch and
that would be
Englishman silly name,
Englishman silly name.
and everyone knows who you're talking about. It's brilliant.
But Michael Fassbender,
Fassbender.
did you think that he was doing a good Steve Jobs, or did you think, as I did, that he was channeling just a little bit of Jim Carrey?
No, you said that, and I didn't really know what you were talking about. He seemed to do a really good job of being someone that I really disliked, so he did it really well.
Well, normally when I see Michael Fassbender doing his thing, he's very much down here doing this kind of voice. But he was up here doing the Jim Carrey kind of... Not quite to that extent. But there was a bit of Jim Carrey in there. My mind immediately rewound to Liar Liar. For some reason, it was there. There was a little drop of Jim Carrey.
All right, I didn't taste the drop of Jim Carrey that was in this particular mix, but
Taste the drop of Jim Carrey.
Ooh,
Sounds like a new fragrance.
it's not one I want to
Jim Carrey.
taste.
So
Yeah.
we're okay with Michael Fassbender as Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I think he did
I
a
mean,
good
he
job.
doesn't-
Fassy B knows what he's doing. He's a good actor.
He is a good actor.
Yeah,
He
even
is.
when he's like chewing the scenery in Scotland for that Macbeth thing that he did, and everyone was like, "Oh, he was born to play Macbeth." Oh!
Well, if Macbeth's a bore, then yes, he was. He was born to play Macbeth.
Bloody Nora. Anyway,
He didn't look like Steve Jobs, though, really, did he?
well, I kind
He
of
just was wearing a pair of glasses.
yeah, that was pretty much it. But then That didn't matter too much. I mean, Ashton Kutcher looked a lot like Steve Jobs in the Ashton Kutcher version of the movie.
But that was when Steve Jobs looked a lot like Ashton Kutcher.
That's true, yeah, which helps.
And then
I
later
think.
on, he didn't look anything like Ashton Kutcher.
No.
He looked more like
Someone else.
Well, he was starting to develop the sort of Dr. Evil look, wasn't he? As he started to take over the world.
Yeah.
Who else was in it, though? Oh, yes, Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
Do you know, I thought she was Ricky Lake. For a long time, I thought Ricky Lake...
What, like in your life or just during this movie?
No, no, not Kate Winslet in every... What was Kate Winslet in Titanic?
Yes.
No, I didn't think she was Ricky Lake in Titanic. No, just in this, because she had kind of a little bit of an accent. And she had Ricky Lake's hair.
Yeah.
And it was kind of 90s time and everything. And I thought, has
frumpy.
Ricky Lake... Because a little while ago, I watched Serial Mum.
Right.
Which had Ricky Lake in as an actress.
Yes.
So I thought maybe this was Ricky Lake's, like, Ricky Lake Strikes Back and Steve Jobs.
No. But I liked Kate Winslet in it. I think she played...
I think she
was
did
very
well.
well done, yeah. As the long-suffering, only person that can stand him kind of thing.
Well, no. Only person who can stand up to him.
Yeah.
She couldn't even stand him.
No, that's true.
Seth Rogen?
Ugh.
Well, no, I mean, I thought it made a change to see him doing something proper.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, he did it well, and it was proper, and it was kind of understated, and it wasn't his usual, hey, look at me, I'm being Seth Rogen, I'm funny,
Yes.
but no one knows why.
And I think he works much better with a script. Because when I've spoke about Bad Neighbours
I've spoken to him
before, and to me, I don't know if there was a script there in the first place, but to me it looked as though he was just improvising a lot of that. Kind of Family Guy style, with some
Yeah.
ums and ers and things. And I mean, Family Guy gets away with it. It's funny because it's a cartoon, and you don't normally see that kind of sporadic conversation taking place in a cartoon, well, unless you watch the Ricky Gervais show cartoon versions. There's a lot of that in there as well. It's amusing because it's little cartoons doing it, talking as we would. But in movies, I think you can only have so much of that before, as a moviegoer, you go there with the expectation that they've cut out the rubbish and that you're going to see kind of the most exciting parts, and it's going to be tied together and make a lot of sense. I mean, you could argue that's the job of the director. Should have told him to shut up.
Well, possibly, but then usually he's on it as an executive producer or something as well. And
there you go. That's the problem. But with this one,
he was
I thought
alright in
he was reined in, and he gave a really very convincing performance
An
as
understated performance.
Steve Wozniak.
Yeah, was the other founder of Apple. Yeah, it was nicely done.
Steve was no. Steve was there, but he was cast out. Now, it looked to me as though Steve Jobs was a very difficult man to work with for Steve Wozniak and all the others, and Ricky Lake.
Yes. He got on my tits, and I was just watching the film.
But you told me that Steve Jobs is even more of an arse than he was in the movie.
Well, I never met him. But from what I hear, yeah, he there was a lot of arseness that we didn't see, because obviously the movie is set immediately before the product launches, and so we only see him wandering around this convention center and things like that.
That's the other problem I have, actually. Well, I say other problem. I haven't mentioned a problem yet, have I? But okay, so this is a little bit of a problem I have with the movie. I wanted to see the shows.
Well, they're online. You can go and watch them.
I know, but I wanted to see... I was experiencing this build-up where there was a drama before each show, which probably didn't happen in real life, because all of that happening before a show is very unlikely. Immediately before a show.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, I wanted to be given the reward of the show. I didn't feel like it was fair, even if it was Michael Fassbender pretending to be Steve Jobs. All we could have had, it could have then cut quite stylistically to some old footage, sporadically as a bit of a music video-y type thing, maybe, and then into the next bit.
Rather than just dangling it in front of you and then yanking it away cruelly whenever you tried to go for it.
I mean, they did have some pretty nice montages in there, where building on the success or the legal issues of Apple and all the rest.
Yeah.
But they could have just done a bit of the shows in there as well. It would have been nice. Divided it out.
Yeah.
But yes, Steve Jobs being an arse.
Yeah.
You told me some interesting stories.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh.
You said he used to root through people's desks.
Well,
and
not
things.
he had he had security squads, and if you're because obviously he was very paranoid and wanted control over everything and didn't want anything giving away to the competition or to anyone and things like that. And if anyone in your team was suspected of giving away secrets or anything like that to anyone they shouldn't, you wouldn't be called into an office and talked to like by HR or anything like that. It would one of these security squads would come to your department, and you would all be made to stand away from your desks while they go through everything and look through everything on your computer and all this kind of thing.
I'm imagining them dressed as the peacekeepers from Hunger Games.
It's a little bit
not the peacekeepers from Farscape.
It's a little bit stormtroopery, isn't it? It's Then that was one of the stories. There were others, but that was the one that I remember.
Well, because I was thinking, would Steve Jobs really appreciate being depicted this way in the movie if he was alive to see this? Because he was making him out to be a really poor father. But then,
bit of a dick.
But then, after all the things you said about how Steve Jobs was in reality to me, I thought, well, he's gotten off quite lightly.
Well,
really.
Possibly. But then,
because at least he kind of came around in the end of the movie, which was really sort of pretty much the beginning of things getting exciting for Apple. So we only saw up until that point. There's still plenty more time for him to go bonkers, wasn't there?
Well, maybe they'll do Steve Jobs 2.
Perhaps they will.
The iPad years.
Yeah, Ricky Lake Strikes Back.
Yeah.
That will be the subtitle.
Wow.
Now, yes, did you like the? There was some symbolism in the phone. There was in the film. Sorry, there was some about the phone, and also the three different sequences of the film were filmed in 6mm, 35mm, and then in digital to indicate the differences in the technology and the time.
I honestly didn't notice that. As I was watching it, I don't know. I was too busy hating him, I think. But
surely when the movie started, you thought, well, this isn't what I'm used to seeing. This looks a bit grainier than usual.
I think I was trying to work out how to steal some of your Tango Ice Blast.
Yes, probably. You do that a lot.
You're welcome.
You just have to wait for me to go to the toilet.
Yeah, that's true. It's because you drink so many Tango Ice Blasts that you're running to the toilet every 5 minutes.
I only have one.
All right.
Because with the combo deal at Cineworld, we sound like such sponsors. We should be sponsors.
We should get,
should work that out.
Yeah.
Tango Ice Bar is very good.
Other cinemas
Mix the flavors.
are available.
They are. There are lots of lovely cinemas in London. You should use them all. Utilise London to its best.
Or wherever you may live, perhaps, if you live outside of London.
Yes, but we have to bear in mind this is East London Radio.
That's true.
I mean, I understand you might be listening from Australia.
That's true. I'm sure they've got cinemas in Australia by now too.
No.
No?
No. There was more symbology in there for the phone.
Good
It was
word.
apparently symbology.
Symbology.
I'm a symbologist.
Are you?
Yes. I'm symbologizing now. Oh yes. Steve, just pop your clothes on. No, Steve Jobs had his desk at the end of this movie, and apparently it looked like the phone. Now, I missed this.
I saw bits of paper on a desk, and I thought they seemed arranged in a grid, and I was a bit confused as to why. I didn't really see it as an iPhone. It just...
Well, no, that is interesting, though, isn't it? Because I did, out of interest, seeing as you said the shows are on YouTube, I couldn't find the ones I wanted, but I ended up watching the first iPhone show, which was basically just a bloke with a PowerPoint presentation. I wasn't as blown away as, I mean, in the film, it was all like glitter falling from the ceiling, like when someone wins X Factor, and just big flashes and photography and big loud music and roars from the audience, whereas you actually tune in and it's just a bit like,
yeah, what were you expecting?
Well, I was expecting a big show. Anyway, this phone, I keep getting film and phone mixed up. This phone did change the world. It changed phones. It's incredible. Yes. When you look back and he's going, and we can do this now where you have a conversation in your text and it shows the whole thing rather than you having to go into different texts that you received long ago, or visual voicemail, for instance, or just looking at your blooming email, scrolling. It didn't exist before.
I think scrolling might have existed
not with the
iPhone.
multi-touch where you pinch the screen and you can flip it and flap it and twist it and yeah, sorry, that doesn't work on the radio. I'm just thrusting my hand towards Scott.
It's a little bit intimidating, if I'm honest. Never mind.
Well, I mean, this is the same with the Mac, really. I think he's definitely leading the pack. And in the movie, there's a lot of stuff about seeing technology as art rather than as this big customizable thing like, I don't know, Lego. You just stick a new bit on there, new bit on there.
But then, like the film said, he doesn't really seem to have innovated much himself. It was all about him having using other people's ideas to make this art. That he wasn't really the innovator.
Well, he used that quote, didn't he? That analogy about how
how musicians play instruments and the conductor plays the musicians,
and he
plays
was
the orchestra.
Conductor.
Yeah. Yes, he's conducting the Apple
Orchestra.
Yeah, big band.
Yeah. No, I like the story behind the logo as well, but you'll have to watch the movie.
That annoyed the hell out of me because that's not true. It's not true.
Oh, it's not. Why is it not true?
Well, because it's not.
No, but he said that it wasn't true.
Yeah, that's all right. It was the fact that they even put that in there.
We're on the verge of spoiling this.
I know. Well, he dies at the end.
Actually, yeah, you're right. There's no spoilers here.
No.
It's just that little story I thought was quite amusing.
Yeah, but it irritated me that they put it in because they were like going, oh yeah, look at this. Actually, no, that's not true. And they know that people are going to walk away and think that it is true, and it's not, and it's irritating.
A little bit of redefinition there, but I still thought it was quite clever. I was going to say a thing.
Go on then.
Hello. Who said that? But also, it's time for a little bit more music, probably.
Yeah, probably should.
From the film by Daniel Pemberton. This is 1998, The New Mac. It's a fun little track that makes you think about technology.
Yeah.
It made me think about Tamagotchis, actually. But Tamagotchis never made any noise, did they? But, I mean, it made me flash back to those early days of, I've got a flip phone and stuff. Yeah. So, this is a biopic that a lot of effort went into. Danny Boyle directed it.
I always get
Olympics man.
Yes, I always get Danny Boyle Olympics man confused with Danny D, who's he's a porn star.
Oh.
With
easy mistake to make. I thought you were going to say Frankie Boyle.
Frankie Boyle. Oh God, I don't want to get him confused with the porn star. That would be very strange.
No, I quite like Frankie Boyle. Not in that way. There were, who was it that was going to be played? Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, Christian Bale was going to play Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender played it instead. He memorized.
Steve Jobs. No one was going to play Michael Fassbender.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Michael Fassbender memorized the 180-page script.
As he should. He's an actor. That's their job. That's what they do.
And all these stylistic decisions were made about the film visually. They even got Ricky Lake back on screen. Do you think that all of this effort was warranted? All these artistic decisions, etc. All these very talented people. Do you think that it actually worked as a biopic? I mean, what are your vital ingredients for a biopic? Do you have to learn something new about the main person? Do you just have to see their life strung together as a movie in a nice kind of visual fashion, or what?
I would say a biopic is kind of a movie portrait of a person.
Right, but what does that involve?
It reflects them. It shows them usually at their best or at some pivotal point in their life, being quintessentially who they are. So you kind of get an idea. So we don't see the boring stuff. We don't see anyone like on their day off just sitting in front of the telly or doing their laundry or picking something up from the post office. But you get to see them in the crucial moments when their true nature is at its thing. And in that respect, I don't know. I don't want to think of Steve Jobs as this awful human who's a very bad father who manages some kind of reconciliation with his daughter towards the end. But for me, actually, that felt artificial. That part of it didn't feel.
Well, it felt like more of an excuse to give us a nudge about the iPod than anything.
Yeah,
because there was a brief kind of mention of that kind of technology to come. But yes, I felt like it was a strange thing for the movie to focus on him as a father. Only because I wasn't anticipating it, and to be honest, I didn't even know he was a father.
No, well, neither did he.
But so in that sense, I did learn things from the biopic. But at the same time, I did feel like it was sort of rounding it off and making it. There was a lot of artistic license, is what I was saying.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I got the real gritty Steve Jobs.
No, but then maybe that wasn't what they were going for. I mean,
well, after the film, he's saying, "She's not my daughter," like an episode of EastEnders.
Yeah. Yes, I
am. So that's fairly, you've got that material to work with already. You could have made it a bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he was lovely and nice.
No.
But I felt like he was a bit of an arse one minute, and then the film was going, the next.
Yeah.
like you said, they're trying to paint him out to be some sort of god when he's being glowed in white light, and so it didn't seem to gel.
No, I know what you mean.
Stick with one kind of.
And I also didn't really get, like you're saying, that I didn't really get what they wanted us to think of him from the film.
Yes, I mean, there's got to be an element of that, hasn't there? Like Danny Boyle must have a view of who Steve Jobs is, and the screenwriter Aaron Sorkin,
who's very good. He did the West Wing and some other stuff.
Apparently, the dialogue in this film's been criticised quite a bit. But, I mean, nothing struck me as being bizarre or out of place.
Well, the only thing that struck me was that every time Steve Jobs asked a question, he would interrupt before someone got through the first sentence of the answer.
That's Steve Jobs, though.
People like that, I just want to slap them. It really, really wound me up. So yeah, never mind.
But no, he never met Steve Jobs. He spoke to him on the phone 3 times.
Aaron Sorkin, yeah.
I think that there was definitely a middle ground that could have been explored with Steve Jobs, somewhere between the arse and somewhere between the glowing in white light and all the rest. That's the Steve Jobs I think we should have spent 2 hours with, like the
actual
rather than this and then that. What about that in the middle?
But maybe that's not the fun bit. Maybe that's not the interesting part. And like I say, no one wants to watch him go and pick something up from the post office, do they?
Yes, but sometimes you go to the post office and some exciting things happen.
Do they?
Yeah.
What post office do you go to?
I remember when I went to the post office and it was being robbed.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go in, but it was all being. It was all being dealt with. But I went. I went there on an ordinary day to go to the post office, and there were lots of people shouting and lots of like sirens going, like we can hear now.
Well, see, all I get is queues whenever I go to the post office. It's just you just have to queue forever for anything.
Clearly, I lead a more exciting life
Evidently,
than
you do.
Well, actually, I never followed that up. It might not have been being robbed. It might have been a what are those things they do on the internet where they confuse everybody by doing the same thing all at once?
Shouting?
No, when everybody dances in a train station or something.
Oh, flash mobs.
Yes, could have been.
Do they still do those?
I don't know.
Are they still a thing?
I think that must be pretty difficult to organise.
Yeah.
We've been asking the question for the whole show. Who said this?
Hello.
Who said?
Hello.
Hello.
It is.
Hello.
Hello.
Shall I reveal the answer?
Yes. I was going to guess, but I think I know who it is. So you do your reveal, and I'll tell you if it's who I thought it was.
Oh, no, but you're going to change your mind. Give me your answer now.
How dare
Give me your answer now.
As you wish. I think it is Fassy B as David, the android.
From Prometheus.
Hello. I'm David.
What can you do, David?
I can do almost anything that could possibly be asked of me. I can assist your employees. I can make your organization more efficient. I can carry out directives that my human counterparts might find distressing or unethical. I can blend in with your workforce effortlessly.
David, what do you think about?
I think about anything. Children play. Angels. The universe. Robots.
David, what makes you sad?
War. Poverty. Cruelty. Unnecessary violence. I understand human emotions, although I do not feel them myself.
Do you think he played an android better than he played Steve Jobs?
I preferred him as the android to Steve Jobs, but I don't know.
Steve Jobs android?
Yeah, well, he was.
Maybe that's where Apple are going.
Ooh, yeah. That's terrifying.
We're all going to get a Michael Fassbender.
Well, having seen him in Shame, that wouldn't be too much of a problem. Good Lord. No, I liked him as the android. I liked that we weren't sure if he was evil or not. That was fun.
Well, yes, I don't think he was. I think he was just
mildly
a
sinister.
robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the Alien films, the androids are
they're always the ones that.
No. In the first one, there's this is a spoiler, but it's an old film. The android in the first one's pretty much programmed to screw the crew over in pursuit of the alien. In the second one, the android's a good guy and helps her out, and he comes back in the third one and blows some bubbles. And then in the fourth one, Winona Ryder is an android, and she's just kind of impish and oddly attractive.
But then Michael Fassbender in Prometheus wasn't. His intention wasn't to destroy the crew. He just seemed
we
like
don't know.
He was curiosity killed the cat and all that.
Well, he was. He had lots of Or was he following orders? Was he making stuff up on his own? It was all very
Well, yes, I
ambiguous.
suppose maybe we'll get the answers in the sequel to the prequel, which is called Covenant and has nothing to do with Alien, although it is called Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre. And apparently there's going to be another 2 more after that lead to Alien, which is going to delay Alien 5. So, yeah, how do we feel about that? Do we want more Michael Fassbender? Do we want more...
Well, Michael Fassbender's in everything.
It was true, yes.
Yeah.
He is everywhere now.
I'd rather him than Seth Rogen, though, so that's good.
Rogen.
Him. Anyway, enough of him.
I think Michael Fassbender and Ricky Lake have some mileage. They should do their own thing. They should do Michael Fassbender and Ricky Lake in space.
All right, why not? Yeah,
I think
that'd
so.
be fun.
But
With
no,
her hair just drifting around.
Are you in any way excited about Prometheus 2
No,
Alien
not at all.
Covenant?
If I were any more unexcited, I think it would go back in.
I am.
Are you?
I am.
Why?
Quite excited.
Why?
Because I liked the mood of Prometheus. I think there's a lot it got wrong, but there's also a lot it did right. But the thing is, I think I'm one of the only ones who am excited. Who is excited. So I'm not sure why it's happening or why as much money is being spent on it or promised on another 2, because it doesn't seem like anybody wants Alien
Ridley
Covenant.
Scott wants
They
to
want
do it, that's
Alien
it.
5.
Well, yeah, we want to see what happens next. Ridley Scott wants to do it, and it's his company, and
I
it's
suppose.
all of his money, so he can do whatever he wants.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We're going to have to finish, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's time to go.
However, there is a final song. It's the music from the Prometheus trailer, which is, I promise you, some of the most epic stuff you're ever going to hear. It's by Audio Machine. It's going to give you chills, goosebumps, all the rest. It's amazing.
Brace your eardrums for
That was
what
me
is
trying
about
not to swear.
follow.
Indeed. And we will talk to you next week
Yes.
about another movie.
Yes. What are we seeing next week?
Well, it'll either be The Lady in the Van or The Good Dinosaur, we're hoping.
Or possibly both.
Or
We'll see.
possibly both. We'll just have to see how we get on.
Yeah. But we've been Scott and Rue. This has been Rue and Scott. Which way round?
Either
do you
way,
prefer it?
I don't
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
It's been fun. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
it has.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Join us next week for another thrilling episode of Are You Sitting Comfortably?